Hello, my sweet friends. Welcome to my home. I'm a cross-stitch designer, but this is not a Flosstube video. I'm breaking the mold, people. I design cross-stitch patterns. I am an artist. Why do I have a problem saying that? But I do. I've been struggling to make Flosstube videos. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've uploaded 2 this whole year. And part of it is the format. I just cannot conform to it anymore. I can't sit in my chair for hours trying to listen to the sound of my own voice. So I have prepared something different. This is a studio vlog. Doesn't that sound like something professional, something special? I'm not special, but hopefully this video is a little bit special. I hope you enjoy it. Here are some awesome things throughout my life from the last month. I hope you enjoy. Bye. Had a big finish, like a big finish, like a project I didn't think I would ever finish because it seemed to go on and on and on, and strand after strand after strand of floss went into it, and it just... I finished The Templar Prophecy by Long Dog Samplers. Thank you. I just wanted to leave some space for you to clap. Here's what it looks like. I decided to eliminate this knotwork on the side because I don't think the piece actually needs it, and I wanted to not stitch it, and I wanted it to fit on a fat quarter of linen, so that is what I did. And I finished it. I started it as my New Year, New Start in 2020, having no idea what the next 2 years would hold, and I think I chose well. My next long dog should be something completely peaceful with birds and bunnies and grass, because this, I mean, it just completely, it embodies my experiences of the last 2 years. And this, I did top to bottom. I completed this section last, and as I was stitching it, I just thought, Lord, let me go out of these years like a knight riding forth on his horse with banners and marching griffins, lions. I don't know. I need a victory procession out of this period of my life, and so I hope. Anyway, I will show it to you. It's awesome, and I love it, and I know you will like it too. So without further ado, here is my finish of Templar Prophecy. I should stand back so you can see the whole thing first. Here's the whole thing. It is awesome. So this is 36 count. Picture this plus fog, which is a very light, I mean, it's just an off-white color, and it has a little bit of modeling. I used, here, let me get my colors list. So the main color I used is Silks for You PR 124, and the camera over accentuates the variegation in the floss. It makes it look a little bit crazier than it actually looks in person. In person, if you stand back, it just kind of all looks dark blue. I mean, you can see it when you come up close, but I'm just saying, like, I'm saying it's not as crazy as it looks on the camera. I also use some 924, which is one of my favorite DMC colors. You can see it in various spots, like this stripe here. It's the blue-green color. I really love it. The dark brown is 3371. And then I used 09 and 08. That's this chocolate brown in the horses and down in the little parade and on this horse on the corner. And that's pretty much it. What else is there to say? This piece broke me. I was doing a long stitching session in the fall of last year on this piece, and it was a long weekend and I just let myself indulge, and I ended up giving myself tennis elbow in my left arm that sits on top of my Q-snap. So up until that point I had always been a Q-snap stitcher, and if I could I stitched two-handed, and my left hand is up here, so I did this for hours and hours and gave myself tennis elbow, which still flares up from time to time. So it broke my arm, and I ended up having to take a long break from stitching to help my arm to feel better, and in the meantime taught myself to stitch in hand because I can keep my hands more still and not have so much forearm movement when I stitch in hand. So I don't know, I'm not thankful to have tennis elbow problems, but I do really love stitching in hand, so I don't know. It's a curse and this piece was a curse and a blessing, like the last 2 years. I am glad to know how to stitch in hand because I do enjoy it, and it's now my preferred method of stitching. I do still sometimes stitch in a Q-snap with my Lowry stand to do more detailed work or anything with like a lot of back stitching. But yeah, so the first half of this was stitched on a Q-snap and the second half was stitched in hand. I don't know. But I love this piece. This is my other long dog finish. And you can see that in plenty of my other videos. I think I'm holding it up in one of my thumbnails, but I think they're really going to complement each other even though they're opposite one another. They're in the same color family, and I don't know, I really love this. My husband ended up buying this pattern for me, and it kind of was one of those things where I had said I liked it, but I didn't necessarily want to stitch it, and I haven't told him this, so I guess he'll find out now, but I didn't necessarily like want to stitch it, but he bought it for me as a gift, so I was like, okay. The reason I didn't really want to stitch it is because of that Hugiantus moon. Hugiantus. Huge and gigantic and humongous all put together. I thought, who would want to stitch that? But then he gave it to me and I was like, well, I guess I'll go for it. And to be honest, these sections where the design is, you're stitching the background and the actual design is not stitched, I found these sections really, really fun. So there's a big block here and then there's another big block here. The reason I found them so fun is I would kind of do them like a typewriter, back and forth, and then like the design appears, and it was just a lot, it was just amusing. I don't know, amusing in a different way than stitching the actual design part is. I don't know. So that's my long dog samplers finish. I want to get it on the wall. I want to ride forth in victory, and that's all I really have to say about that. I do want to have a long dog going at all times, but I have not picked my next one yet. It might be Dilemma, which is a smaller one. Although she has a new design coming out tomorrow, so I have to see that one before I can fully decide. The only other thing I've been stitching on, and this not even very much, is my Elizabeth Isles, and I will show you that. The reason I have not gotten a lot done is that I didn't stitch for quite some time, and then I've been stitching my birds of the month for Bird Crush Club, which has been a true delight. So today is the beginning of April, and I am now working on my August bird. August is my birthday month, and it's just gonna be a big year for me this year, and so I picked one of my favorites of Chris's photos, and it's absolutely adorable. Anyway, so I've been stitching a bird every month. I can't show you those, although I will show you like past birds in another clip. Anyway, wrap it up. I've been stitching a little bit on my Elizabeth Isles $17.99 and enjoying this one. It's just amusing. Working on that bird. And this, it's so old-timey looking, but I think it'll look absolutely wonderful on this wall. This is my dining room and kitchen color because they kind of just like run into each other. I have like a long galley here, and I think this is gonna look totally radical on the wall. So that was my stitching update. The end. Hello and welcome to my stairwell. We are standing in the stairwell that leads down to my studio office circus arena, and I wanted to show you what makes me super happy in this stairwell. It is my birds. Surprised, right? I'm not going to show you months that might be questionable as to whether whenever this video is released they are still a surprise, but I have 6 birds lined up, seven birds lined up, and they're all finished in their colorful frames, and eventually I'm going to put all 12 birds on the wall, but for now they're on this little ledge and they just make me happy and I wanted to show them to you. So not very exciting because there's only 4 I can show you. But there are indeed 7 little sweet birds sitting all in a row, and they just make me happy as I go down into my office. So today is Friday, and I released a newsletter with a bunch of spring cleaning clearance items. I don't know if you can see them here. I have a bunch of charts that are just going out of print because I don't have space for them, and then just some other stuff that I'm not interested in carrying on the website anymore, and so I have a lot of orders coming in. Unfortunately, my employee who packs my orders has a stomach bug, and I wish her well, and I might have to do some packing. I also have to do writing some emails for an event that I'm planning at the end of the year, and I need to print some charts. My Stitch Along Marvelous World is getting released in print in May, and so I need to get those ready to go and get them to my lovely chart folder, who I love so much. And that's what I have planned for this ever so exciting Friday morning. Hey, happy Monday. It's a Monday and it's about lunchtime and I have been on fire. I want to show you what I'm working on, okay? Last week I was on Instagram and I saw someone call a raven a goth chicken. And that's all it took. First of all, check this out. There is actually something called a goth chicken. It lives in Indonesia. Super weird, right? The more you know. It says that this is the most expensive chicken in the world, or one of them, with a single bird costing up to $2,500. But back to the Raven. So I worked an extended period of time last Friday on Goth Chicken, and I just was not feeling how this was turning out at all, and so I gave up for the day. I just thought the composition was really boring, and when I opened it back up now on Monday, I didn't like anything about it, so I decided to kind of start tearing it apart. I remember that I had this piece, which is called Booby Alphabet. You might recognize this border is from my beach dance pattern with the blue-footed booby, and at some point apparently I was thinking it would be a sampler style. This is why you keep everything. I decided to see if I could make Goth Chicken more of a sampler style piece, and so I took it here. I just imported in my Raven. I decided he needed to sit on a skull. This is still really rough. I knew I wanted to change the border, like the 90s checkerboard style does not read Gothic whatsoever, so I worked on the border, and then I worked on writing Goth Chicken over here. I wanted to keep it square, and I wanted it to be, like, on first glance you look at it and it looks like a little black raven pillow, but there's the surprise of the Goth Chicken text. So here is close to my final version. I'm still going to play with it a little bit, clean it up. I like how the border turned out. I think it's sufficiently, I don't know, spooky looking. The fat raven looks great. I love the little candelabra. Obviously I had to pare that down. I do like this original candelabra I charted. I'll just keep it for a future design, stick it in my ideas folder, but I really love this. I think it looks really Lindy Stitches. What else can I say? That's the point, isn't it? Here's a piece I'm working on that I've been really struggling with. Colors. The pattern is written, but the colors are not chosen. Part of what is throwing me off is the dark linen. I haven't done a lot of pieces on dark linen, and I also don't want to necessarily make the elements a light color, so color choices are becoming difficult because I want to choose a more medium shade, but it definitely needs to stand out well from this linen. Another complicating factor is that I want to use some sparkle, and I have never actually charted a sparkle before. So I think I'm overthinking it. I have color tested all of these colors, and I just keep testing more colors, I think as a way to delay actually making decisions. So these are all dinky dyes, and then these are some sparkles I've tested, and to just give myself yet more time to procrastinate, I had to order all the dinky dyes that I don't have. So I'm gonna go through these and decide which ones I want to add to my color swatches, and then maybe I'll actually make some decisions.
You know what? I could. I really could. But see, the problem is, I don't want to.
Okay, here's how my color swatches are looking. I think I've finally forced myself to make some decisions because I'm at the point where I'm driving myself crazy. So how the shapes go is I want a color and a coordinating sparkle to go with it. So I've just been like folding these and trying to origami a color palette together. At first I was thinking, like, I really like how this stretch looks together, but it's literally from this purple to the blue. That is a rainbow. And as great as rainbows are, I want this piece to look a little bit, I want it to be fun, but I want it to be a little more serious. So I nixed the rainbow idea, and I think I've just narrowed down these 3 colors. I'm not totally happy with the gold with the dark purple, but I think it might work. I don't know how well the camera is picking up on this sparkle, but it's really neat. It's got a lot of different colors in it. It's got a light blue, a light purple, some silver, and some gold, which I thought would kind of... I like the way gold looks on this fabric. It really stands out nicely, but then I was going toward more cooler tones, and so I wasn't sure about... I was just going to go with silvery tones, but this multicolor has silver and gold, which is what made me put the gold with this one. So all that minutia, I'm sure, which was interesting to no one, but I think I'm just going to start stitching the pattern, and, you know, if I have to rip, I have to rip, but at this point, like I said, I'm making myself crazy. I even thought, well, I need to order more sparkles, and no, I don't. I don't need any more supplies. I need to just be a big girl and make some decisions. Hi, it's Thursday, and Willoughby was wondering why I was getting ready to talk at the window. He probably thinks I'm pointing out some birds. I've had a super productive week this week, and it makes me so happy and excited. I decided to change my routine a little bit, so as soon as possible I'm getting in the chair to just sit down and design. I don't check email, I don't do chores, and other things that I normally would get out of the way first. But I really think that kind of derails that great energy that I naturally have in the morning to be creative. And so my husband's been helping me with doing the dishes and getting stuff out of my way so that I can just sit down and use that energy burst to be creative. So 4 days in a row this week, I designed something, and I didn't just do a little designing, like I finished things. Some things like completely out of scratch. Like one day I was like, I'm gonna design a Christmas ornament. Done. It was great. And it gave me this happiness that then I was able to carry throughout my day. You know, so I was like happy and I felt so accomplished, and then it was like, okay, now I can answer emails, because believe it or not, email has this life-sucking force, and anyway, yeah, I also got a new freebie postcard done. I need to show it to you. Every physical order that I do, I send out a freebie postcard. This is my 4th, and I try to update them annually, but I'm gonna try to shorten that time period because a lot of customers order more than once in a year, and ideally I'd love to give them a new freebie every time, but that just wasn't doable. However, I know, anyway, I'm trying to shorten that time period and refresh it more often. So here is the project, and it's kind of getting a little blown out, so I'm gonna darken myself so you can see it. So it's this adorable little hedgehog in his garden, and it just happened to be the exact right size for this little jewelry box that I painted and finished, and I wish it was real wood, but it's really like the memory of wood glued together with Elmer's glue. Like really terrible, but really, I mean, it serves its function, right? So I think this turned out really cute. If you'd like to see me actually finish this and what I did, there is a little video series on my TikTok account where I just showed you what I did to finish this. So every order will get my new freebie. I named it Love and Prickles. And it's bigger than my old freebies too, which is kind of sweet. Kind of awesome. Today, after my design session, I'm starting to feel a little bit low energy just because I think I've been so super productive through the week. I mean, I got 3 patterns out the door this week for a model stitch. In addition to a bunch of other stuff. Like, I just really had a great week, which probably explains why I didn't have a whole lot of energy left. So after my design session, I went to the store, which you might have seen a clip of, to get some flowers to coordinate with my June and July bird, and I'm going to try to take their pictures today, as well as some other products that have come in for the store but have just created a pile of things that I need to photograph now. So I'm going to try to be chill about it. I tend to stress out about photography sessions, but it's okay. Everything's gonna be okay. I hope you're having a great day. So today is Friday, April 22nd, and what do you think? You like the new format? You don't like it? I would like to hear your thoughts down below. I forgot to warn you at the beginning that I was gonna throw some of my TikTok videos in there. And I'll talk a little bit about TikTok in a second, but that's what those weird short videos were. Maybe you enjoyed those too. But I'd like to hear your comments about, I don't know, what I'm trying to do here. I don't want to stop making videos that I really like I have since 2015 enjoyed participating in Flosstube. I just needed, I don't know, I needed to figure out what for me felt like a more natural contribution. I've always struggled to take all my stuff and like just make this big video. Has always been difficult for me, and this wasn't difficult. This was fun, and I also allowed myself to have a little bit more fun with the editing. So yes, would love your thoughts. Here in this last clip, I want to show you my progress on Elizabeth Isles. I showed you where I was at the beginning. I've made some progress on that, and I also want to show you an awesome finish that I did that I'm really excited about. But here's Elizabeth Isles now, working on my bird. Isn't he looking absolutely incredible? I love him. He looks to me like an old man wearing a sweater vest and like knee socks. He's so great. I really like how this pattern alternates. Maybe I already said this, but you can kind of alternate between outlining and just mindless filling. I think this looks great. I tried to chart out what I want to put on the bottom text, but the quote I picked is not as long as what's on the sampler, so I don't know. I don't particularly enjoy font work, like trying different fonts. So I thought, well, I could use a bigger font, take up more space, but I don't like playing with letters all that much, and like my typical Lindy Stitches font is kind of too big, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe just fill in, maybe add some decorative stitching on the bottom, not sure. And then, I don't know, I got a wild hair yesterday, and just wanted to finish something that has been sitting in my pile of stuff I've never done anything with. I've had this one done for quite some time. I think it was my birthday start last year, and I finished it pretty quickly, but I make all these stupid faces when I hold something up, but get out. Look at this. This is exactly what I want. This is exactly how I wanted it to turn out. And I was honestly surprised that it all worked because I wasn't sure about the lines I was drawing for the sewing down here. I wanted to mimic the stitching here, and I ordered these tassels and they've just been sitting, and I didn't know how this whole tassel work was gonna go. It's kind of a janky finish in that I ordered these tassels and thought they were gonna be nice and big and plush. These are 5. This was 15 tassels put together. 5, 5, and 5. Because they turned out like I must not have been reading, or I was just imagining them so wrong. But here's one tassel, so they're like nothing. So it's like, okay, well I'm gonna bunch them together. Well, how am I gonna do that? Well, I have these safety pins, and I was gonna try to sew the safety pins into the points, and then I was like, this is gonna be a disaster. So I ended up just safety pinning them to the back, but no one cares, and you can't tell, and who gives a flip? Not me. So, and I used some fancy ribbon on top. Ah! This finish, I totally want to design for this sort of banner finish in mind, because this is a super easy finish. I love the bottom. It's striking, it's adorable. What else is there to say? The pattern is by Lucy Beam on Etsy. I can't remember the title of the pattern, but I will put it on the screen. So adorable. And it's totally getting hung up now because it makes me happy. So I didn't talk about this yet, but Janine McGowan and Janine is the Blue Flower, I'm Lindy Stitches. We are co-hosting the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit in September of this year, and I didn't even have time to mention it anywhere. It's already sold out. I can't believe it, and I'm... Calm down, okay? Just take a breath. I'm so excited I could have a heart attack right now. I'm excited for so many reasons. I mean, Acorns and Threads, in my top most coveted LNS trips of all time. I'm stupid excited to be co-hosting the retreat with Janine. Our designs are coming together beautifully. It is just gonna be so much fun. I have never been to Oregon. I've only been to the West Coast once. I mean, me and like the western half of the United States, we do not know each other very well at all. I mean, it's really pathetic. But the chance to get to go to Oregon? I'm so excited. So it is sold out, but they are taking waitlist. You want to be on the waitlist. There is a in-person and a virtual option. So really cool that there's a virtual option so that all sorts of people can attend. And I have so many awesome ideas for spoiling these attendees because we're just gonna have a great time, and I'm so happy. Lastly, I would like to talk about TikTok. And I don't know. I've been doing this thing on TikTok, and I'll just tell you about it, and then at the end of this video, I will put one of my TikToks of this genre that I've been enjoying creating. I have been really fascinated with the world of TikTok, and I've been trying to contribute here or there. Not very heavily, just kind of dipping my toe in the water. It is by no means going to replace my contributions anywhere else on social media, including here on YouTube. I'm committed to my customer and fellow Stitcher community connections across the board, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm not disappearing into the black hole of TikTok. However, I've really been enjoying the platform, and it's just a younger audience. It's just fun. There's definitely trash on TikTok like there is anywhere, but anyway, so I'm spitting this out. Again, I need to calm down. I've been going through old 80s and 90s cross-stitch magazines in a sarcastic and sometimes mocking way. And I don't know how on brand this whole thing is, where I literally am just going through the magazines and giggling at them because you know how they are. You know, right? We all know. And it's just been so fun. But I don't know how connected that should be to Lindy Stitches. I don't want to offend anyone by any means. I know some of these people are probably, a lot of them are still alive. That was the dumbest thing to say ever. Of course, most of them are still alive. We're talking about the 80s and 90s. Oh my gosh. I'm leaving it in. Anyway, I've been enjoying TikTok. If you like the video that is after this one and you think it's funny, you might want to join me over there on TikTok. I'm not going to be cross-posting that type of video very often just because I do not want to offend people. It's just meant to be fun, and I humbly ask for your apology if for some reason your Aunt Jean was a cross-stitch sweater model in 1989. If that was her career and I have giggled at her past photos and cross-stitch and country crafts, I mean it in the kindest way possible. And I fully expect that in 30 years, Lindy Stitches is gonna show up in the same genre of, can you believe people did this? Can you believe this was something people did? It is crazy. And you know what? I will throw a photo right here, right now, of myself from these years. Feel free to laugh because this is what I'm working with, and this is what I was living in those times. I was into the puffy paint. I was into the decorate your own sweatshirt. I was doing it all. I am a child of this era. I fully appreciate it. I'm gonna stop apologizing. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Like I said, leave me some comments down below. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. It felt a little bit weird, but not so weird. I hope you enjoyed, and keep stitching, and etc., etc. I get verbal diarrhea when I try to end a video. Happy Friday. Bye. Travel back in time with me with For the Love of Cross Stitch. September 1989. You'll probably regret it. Santa is still remembering Christmases he'd like to forget. Or he forgot to take his pills. Angry Santa is still angry. I've tried to resist making fun of babies during my exciting commentary, but Leisure Arts has no such boundaries. This baby fell over and they included the photo. I hope they're paying for her therapy. This issue is chock full of very bland things. I take that back. There's these jar toppers for special people. I dare you to make this for your boss. Pumpkin patch. You got them apple butter jars stuck in the tree. Grab a tissue, because I know I cried the first time I read this. Buttons, bunnies, and bows. Treasures of the heart. Anyone knows. Here's a designer profile. She's taking a moment from her busy schedule to relax with 2 bunnies. This is true. And probably while they were setting up the photo, a kid ate that muffin. Oh look, another angel gracefully holding up an entire tree. Looks like they learned the lesson of the lit candles. Oh goody, it's a series. Before you dig into your garden, don't forget to cross-stitch a cuff for your gardening gloves. You know, before you plunge your hands into the dirt. All I want for Christmas is some new bread cloths. I am in love with rotund Santa on the back of a cow. It's not too late to catch the fever. Walk through the past with Grizzly Bill, our gold prospector. Feel the heat, taste the dust, and smell the warm scent of his mule, Nicodemus. I can't believe this. I can't believe it. Smell the warm scent of his mule. This is what advertising does. It tells you about things you didn't even know you were missing. Like the warm scent of a mule.